What's the word? Said you can't wait for the show. Well, it's on now. We live, man. What's going on with y'all? Top of the evening. We gonna talk about it today, man. As usual. Got a lot of good game for y'all, as usual. I'll wait for y'all to fill the room up some more. Give y'all a minute to place your seats. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna chop it up. What's up with y'all? I see y'all checking in, man. Top of it to y'all. I see quite a few of y'all hitting the like button already. If you haven't, go ahead, hit that thumbs up. As always, I appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate your subscriptions. Hitting the bell when you subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, man. Dig that. Yeah, man, we're going to talk about these beta male pimps, man. Quote unquote. If you look at the title of this video, you see I got the word pimp under quotations. Quote unquote. We're going to talk about it, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me fine. Can y'all hear me cool? Is my volume good? Let me know, let me know. Good looking, Jay. Big Drew, what's up with it, man? I don't know if you peeped it last night, Big Drew, but I had a cool little workout video that I posted last night. Went live. That was my first fitness-oriented video. And I know a lot of y'all enjoyed it, man. I'm glad. I appreciate the fact that y'all enjoyed it. And hopefully a lot more of y'all enjoy it as well. Yeah. And speaking of fitness, as well as health, did you have your water today? You see, I'm halfway done with mine, just about. Probably a little more than halfway. The B code, you crazy. It's all good, Big Drew. At least you got a job. That's a blessing, man. Some people wish they had a square-ass job. Oh, Jay, you peeked it out, huh? Arnold was a fool on there, huh? He had me dying laughing, too. But he was so serious, it was funny. Yeah, man, make sure y'all get some water, man. If you ain't had no water today, make sure you get you some. Y'all getting it up, man. We're going to wait for a few more people to get up in here and we're going to get started. Once again, if you haven't hit the like button already, you know what I mean, go ahead and do so. I appreciate you if you have. You know what I mean? If you want to hit the thumbs down button, I ain't mad at you for that either. It's all good. You know, Freeze's world, even though haters don't exist, you can be yourself, you know what I mean? You can hate on all you want. Gets no acknowledgement over here, but hey, if that's what you want to do, it's all good. And just so y'all know, if y'all haven't caught on already, those of y'all who've been watching me, and for those of you who don't have a clue at all, um, I don't really like to talk about other individuals. Basically, I don't like to talk about particular suckers that do sucker shit, you know, because some of y'all know different individuals that I might have been associated with once upon a time, and you might see those individuals, you know, partaking in certain behavior that might be unbecoming of them. It is what it is. Me, myself, I'm not going to talk about those individuals, even if they might be talking about me. I'm not going to bless them with any type of acknowledgement. So I'd appreciate it if y'all did the same while we getting it in this evening. You know, like I say all the time, suckers don't exist. So they not getting no airplay over here. I'm not blessing them with no type of acknowledgement because, as y'all know, I always say acknowledgement is encouragement. We not acknowledging them. We not encouraging them. We not on any of that. You dig? But what we are going to do is speak on some of the things that suckers do. And of course, the whole point of that is to open your eyes and open your mind to certain areas that it might not be open, you know, so that you can see things that you might not notice otherwise. Basically, the whole purpose of speaking on the type of shit that suckers do is to wake your game up. So that's what this whole video is about. We're gonna talk about the type of sucker shit that these motherfuckers do. This beta male shit that they got going on, man. As many of y'all know, y'all see some of the same shit that I see. It's despicable. But there's a lot of reasons why we have so many beta male P's in the game. It's a lot of reasons why. As y'all know, man, social media is a motherfucker. And as I say all the time, it all depends upon the user. You know, the individual that's utilizing social media. It can be used for good, it can be used for bad. It can serve good purposes, it can serve bad purposes. But in a lot of ways, it's damn near like a drug. You know, you got a lot of people that they can't handle it. You know, it takes a responsible individual to be able to utilize social media responsibly. But you know, it's funny, man. The way I see it, reason why we got so many beta male P's coming out the closet, because it's crazy. Because y'all see a lot of shit just like I do. And it's a lot of individuals that might have been solid once upon a time, or so we thought. You know, even in your personal life, you might see certain people that you've been knowing for years. You know, you might have been knowing certain individuals your whole life, and they've been solid the entire time that you've known them. But with the advent of social media, you know, you see different sides of them that you didn't see once upon a time when social media wasn't so prevalent. It's like, damn, man, I never seen my boy or I never seen my girl doing, you know, certain shit that they doing right now. It's crazy. And see what it is, you know, you got a lot of cats in the game that got in the game young. You know, they was endeavoring to be P's at a real young age. And they were so caught up in being P's, you know, they lost sight of the foundation of being a P, which is being a man first. You know, and that manhood is your anchor. That's what a lot of cats don't know. That manhood is your anchor, and it keeps you grounded. You know, like, see me, my anchor is my manhood, my integrity, my principles and my values, my character. It keeps me right here. You know, but if you don't have an anchor, just like if you think of a boat, if you have a boat sitting there and it's not anchored, what is it going to do? It's going to drift off. You know, it's going to go wherever the current takes it. It's going to go wherever the wind takes it. And it's the same thing with men. If you're not anchored, if you don't have a solid anchor of manhood, then it's highly likely that you're going to drift off in different areas that you shouldn't drift off in the first place. You know, and it's just me myself, right? I've had some eye-opening experiences recently, as some of y'all may know. I've had certain individuals show me sides of themselves recently that I never imagined. I never imagined these individuals having this side of themselves, but I've seen it. You know, but me, I always do my best to get a lesson out of every experience, good or bad, in my life. I do my best to get some sort of lesson out of it. And with certain individuals that's, you know, like I said, showing me sides of themselves that I never expected, one lesson that I'm getting out of it is that, you know, I look at things in retrospect and it's like, damn, you know, should I have seen this coming? And if I should have seen it coming, how would I have seen it coming? What indications were shown to me, were given to me, this should have been red flags? What indications did I get to show me that this individual had this in them the whole time, and I just overlooked it, you know, for the sake of me liking this individual? And I do my best to compare myself, because, you know, people are doing things that I would never do. So I think to myself, like, what is it about me that keeps me from doing that? And what is it about them that allows them to do the things that they do? You know, the unsavory, seedy things that they do. What is it about them in their nature, in their character, that allows them to do that? And what is it that keeps me from doing that? You know, it's a few things. Like, just speaking for myself, the things that keep me from doing that, like I'm saying, integrity, my integrity, my nature, you know, the way I came up, the things that I saw growing up, you know, growing up in the hood, and, you know, seeing my uncles, you know, big time dope dealers in the 80s and early 90s, and you know, having my father, which I always say my father is my biggest influence growing up. Just seeing the type of man that he was and the type of men that my uncles were. You know, my mom has 9 brothers. So, and then I got a lot of older cousins, male cousins. Like, you know, the type of men that I was influenced by coming up. I just never, and I'm fortunate, I'm blessed, and I appreciate it, but I just never seen the men that I was growing up around do sucker shit. You know, I'm talking about the ones that had a direct influence on me. Of course, you know, growing up, I seen, you know, suckers doing sucker shit, but I'm talking about the ones that I looked up to and respected and was heavily influenced by. I never saw them doing sucker shit, you know, and I seen them face all kinds of pressure. You know, my pops, I've seen him face pressure, and I seen him stay solid in the face of pressure. My uncles, my older cousins, I saw them face pressure, and I saw them stay solid in the face of pressure. I never saw them being disloyal to the people that they functioned with. You know, my uncles, I never saw them turn each other's backs. I never saw them turn their backs on each other. You know, my pops, I never seen him turn his back on any of the people that, you know, he functioned with in the face of pressure. You know, for the sake of bailing out of the situation, like, yeah, you know, you can make it out of the situation if you turn your back on your homeboy, or you can make it out of the situation fine if you turn your back on your brother. Like, the men in my family that I was influenced by, I never seen them do that type of shit. So naturally, that was ingrained in me from an early age, from as far back as I can remember. You know, I wasn't aware of what was taking place, but this is what was taking place. You know, I was groomed to be a solid motherfucker from the gate. I didn't have no choice. So, like I say, these are some of the things that keep me from basically partaking in sucker shit. These are the things that keep me consistent as a man. You know, like I say all the time, if a tornado take place, I'm gonna be the same motherfucker. If a blizzard come right after that, if a hurricane come right after that, if a tsunami come right after that, if a dust storm or whatever the case may be, a tidal, whatever it is, an earthquake, like I'm gonna be the same motherfucker all terrain, no matter what takes place. I'm gonna remain consistent as a man because there's no type of situation that can change my core. I'm anchored. My manhood keeps me anchored to be able to endure any type of pressure, any type of situation. It's nothing that can make me tell them. I couldn't even tell on my enemy or turn my back, do some sucker shit towards my enemy, let alone somebody that I fuck with, somebody that I consider a brother or a homeboy or a friend or whatever the case may be. I just don't know. I can't even do sucker shit towards a sucker. Like, it's all kind of sucker shit that been done to me just this year alone, let alone throughout my entire life. I've experienced suckers saying and doing sucker shit towards me forever, but I can't never get on their level. I can't never meet them eye to eye. I just don't know how to be a sucker and wouldn't want to know how to be a sucker. And as I say all the time, if you gave me an instruction manual on how to be a sucker, I ain't gonna be able to read that shit. I ain't gonna be able to comprehend it. I can't ingest that. So, and then even into my early adulthood, when I was faced with pressure, I never folded, I never buckled, I never compromised myself for any type of situation, any type of pressure. I never compromised myself. So when I faced situations where my freedom was on the line, I never turned my back on my homeboys, and fortunately I had some solid homeboys that never turned their back on me. Other individuals that we dealt with, associates, turn their back on us. But when that's another video that I'll do for another day. But when I went to the joint, with me and my partners, I had two partners that I was tight with, that I was hustling with. This before the ism. When I was real young, I had some partners that I was hustling with, and we ended up going down, taking the fall. We ended up, doing a couple years in the joint, but we stayed solid with each other. We never, we didn't succumb to the manipulation of them people. Like, your homeboy, he ain't looking too solid. He's saying this about you, and he's saying that about you. Like, we didn't fall for none of them tactics. And this is all of our first time ever being faced with this kind of pressure. We ain't never been in the system before, none of us. We ain't never been in no serious trouble. We ain't never been facing years and thing, so, because I was facing 12, and both of my partners was facing 14 apiece. We never been in that type of situation. All of us in our early 20s, facing that type of time, facing that type of pressure. We didn't buckle, we didn't fold. You know what I mean? We could have been facing a million years. We could have been facing life. We not finna do that. Where we come from and what we about and the way we was bred, we not on that. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing that you could do to make us turn our back on each other. So, this is what I come from. This will give you an idea of what I come from. But the cold part about it, some of these people that do this sucker shit that you see, some of these quote unquote P's that's doing this sucker ass shit that you see lately, they come from the same background, and they've been through similar situations and stayed solid through those similar situations. So one might ask, but like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, he was facing a life sentence, and he stayed solid, and he actually did get a life sentence, and he came back on appeal, and he never told nobody. He stayed solid. He done been through all kind of situations and pressure, and he stayed solid. Like, why is he doing all this sucker ass shit now on social media? Or, such and such, they done been through this and been through that. Like what's going on? Like, how are they able to do this? Like, you just wouldn't, you can't understand. And like I say, the difference between myself and individuals like that, my value system, the things that I stand for, the things that I know that make me important. Like me, I've just put it like this. I've always had a strong sense of self-importance. I've always understood that I was valuable. um, I've always understood what makes me important. I've always understood my gifts and my blessings that I was blessed with. And more importantly, I've always considered the people that I fuck with. And I've always had love for the people that I fuck with. And it's always been to the point where I could never turn my back on somebody that I fuck with, you know. And I can never, like I say, I can never do any sucker shit towards anybody, even if the individual is a sucker they self towards me or towards any. I just, I can't do that. But you got certain people who, like I say, they face certain kinds of pressure. They've been through certain types of situations, and they was able to stay solid within that. But at the same time, they never had a strong sense of self-value. They've never, they've never understood what makes themselves important, or they may not have even seen themselves as important. They was never in tune with that, and they might try to portray themselves like that. Like fast forward to the ism, you know, a lot of cats get in the ism and they understand, you know, the P's, you know, we call ourselves the prize and we pop it, and you know, we confident individuals and things like that. But for a lot of people, it's false. For a lot of people, it's just an act. It's not sincere. And the evidence of it is the sucker shit that you see right now. So, like I say, I analyze myself versus these individuals. I analyze them. I analyze myself, and I that's the one thing that I can come up with. You know, it all boils down to certain people being desperate for attention. You know, and like I said, you know, from my whole life, throughout my childhood, all the way into my adulthood, up to this point right now, I've never been pressed for attention. I've never been pressed for praise or anything like that, because you know, I just always got love and appreciation no matter where I went, no matter what situation I was in. As a child in school, you know what I mean? I was always one of those kids that was like, you know, that people admired and was cool with and just felt comfortable being around and talking to. You know, I've always been that individual. So it's things like that, as well as everything else that factors into the way that I was built. The reason why I've never been able to be jealous of anybody. I do not know what it feels like to be jealous. I have no clue. I have no clue what it feels like to be jealous of a motherfucker. I just don't understand that shit. But like I say, you got certain motherfuckers that just, you know, they, on the other hand, they know what it feels like to be jealous of somebody, because they never was in tune with their own sense of self-importance. You know what I mean? Like me. Somebody might be taller than me. Somebody might have a nicer body than me. Somebody might look better than me. Somebody might speak better than me. Whatever the case may be. Certain people, you know, there's other people that have different advantages over me. But I've never allowed that to make me lose sight of who I am and what I got going on in the ways that I'm blessed. Like, yeah, you know, he might have this advantage over me, but I got this advantage over him and everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he might be able to do this and do that, but the way this thing that I do, you know, nobody's fucking with me in this. And even if they are, it's all good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so cool at what I do and I'm so good at what I got going on. You know, if they got that going on, more power to them. You know what I mean? I just do not know how to be a hater. I don't know how to be jealous of anybody. I don't know how to lie on motherfuckers. I don't know how to do that type of shit. And it's all because, like I said, my sense of self-importance has always been in tune. You dig? But you got these other individuals, like I said, they might face certain types of pressure and they might stay solid within that. But when it comes to being confident in who they are, they never really had it. You know, they're the types of individuals that even though they didn't face certain types of pressure and stay solid, they know the feeling of being jealous. They know the feeling of being envious of somebody. They know the feeling of somebody else coming around and making them feel insecure. Like me, I don't know how to feel insecure. I don't know what that shit feels like. But you got other individuals that did put on this facade like they just a confident motherfucker, and they know what that insecurity feels like. You know what I mean? So this will just give you an idea of what factors into a motherfucker being a beta male pimp. You know what I mean? They don't have that anchor. See me, fast forward to the game, you know, I know that I was perfectly groomed for the game. Like I say all the time, pimps ain't necessarily born, but to be that. But those of us that are that were born with certain gifts and blessed with certain gifts that just make us perfectly suited to be this and to do this. So the gifts that I was blessed with from birth and the way that I was raised and groomed and built, I was perfectly groomed for the game. I was perfectly groomed to do this. You know, so when I start dealing with, you know, hoes in the game, you know, ladies of the evening in the game, when I start dealing with them, you know, I just knew that I was perfect for them. I knew that I was perfect for bringing the best out of somebody that was serious about this lifestyle. I just knew that I was best to guide a young lady and hold a young lady down in this game, and you know, just help her fulfill her purpose in this game. I knew that I was perfectly built for that, perfectly groomed for that. And another big part of it is the self-discipline, like I've spoke on before. Like I said, you got certain people that, well, I'll speak on myself first. I've always been a highly self-disciplined individual, and a big part of that, hold on, I see it's getting kind of dark. I should have thought about that before I came right, y'all. Hold on. We're gonna walk. Go over here where it's a little bit more light. Right. That ain't good. Okay, but like I was saying, the self-discipline part, right? Um, that's another thing that I've always noticed about myself that distinguishes me from the average cat in the game. Um, I've always been a highly self-disciplined person, and again, like I say, my biggest influence in that area was my father. My pops was always a highly self-disciplined individual, and whatever he put his mind to, he was able to do. I'm talking about anything that this man put his mind to, I saw him do it. You know, of course, before, you know, this is before I was old enough to remember that, but my pop smoked cigarettes for like 15, 20 years. And one day he just quit that shit, and he hasn't smoked a cigarette for over 30 years. You know, I'm talking about was a daily smoker and just quit cold turkey with no help, no nicotine patch or no shit like that. Just made up his mind one day, I'm gonna stop smoking cigarettes, and the man ain't smoked a cigarette for 30 years. He was a stone cold alcoholic for most of his life, my father. Um, but he was a functioning alcoholic though. He was a cold motherfucker. You know, he drank a fifth of Cavassier damn near every day. You know what I mean? But one day he just quit that shit cold turkey. And Pops ain't had no alcohol in like shit, like 16, 17 years. You know what I mean? So this is who I was influenced by. So naturally, you know, uh, every young boy when they growing up, they want to be just like they pops. I tried to emulate my pops in so many different ways. So that was one of them. I always wanted to be a highly self-disciplined individual, and I've always had that about myself as well. I drank soda all my life throughout my childhood. You know what I mean? From a little kid as far back as I can remember till 18 years old. I haven't had a soda in 18 years. So, and this is something that I love. Michael, thank you for that. I appreciate you. I love soda. I quit that. That's just an example. You know what I mean? All different kinds of foods, whatever food that I've put my mind towards, cutting out, I've always been able to do that. I cut out alcohol. I cut out weed. Just whatever, I've always been the type of individual that whenever I put my mind to something and I wanted to cut it out or put it on, implement it, you know what I mean? Like working out, I put my mind on that and I did it. You know what I mean? And I'm still doing it right now. So this is just an example of my self-discipline. And like I said, I've always kept it solid under pressure. I've always had pure, true confidence in myself, and I've never been jealous or envious of anybody. Never felt insecure around anybody or anything. And I've always been highly self-disciplined, you know. But like I said, you got certain cats that got the pressure part down. They know how to keep it solid under pressure, but they've never had true confidence in themselves. They know what it feels like to be jealous of somebody. They know what it feels like to feel insecure around somebody. And then two, which is really three, but the two things that they missing, you know what I mean? They got the pressure part down, the solid part, but one, they had never had true confidence in themselves, and two, they don't have the self-discipline factor. They don't know how to discipline themselves to the point, where it's like, what am I gonna choose? Am I gonna choose my character, what I stand for, or something else? You know what I mean? Am I gonna choose what's valuable to me or this other thing? You know what I mean? Whatever other temptation this might be, or what have you. These cats don't have that about themselves. And like I said, I analyze myself, and I analyze these other cats that's doing this sucker shit that I never expected them to do. And those are the two main things that I come up with. They never had that true confidence in themselves, and they were never self-disciplined. You know what I mean? It's just certain things it's certain situations that'll bring out certain things in people or test them in certain ways that they ain't never been tested. And see, for a lot of us, especially those of us that's like in their 30s and 40s and 50s and so on and so forth, social media is fairly new to us. If you in your 20s or your teens or whatever the case may be, social media is, a lot of y'all, this is all you've known for a young age, from a young age. So social media isn't such a new thing. You didn't live a long time without social media in your life if you in your teens and 20s, and then all of a sudden social media came about and it's like a new thing to you. But for those of us in our 30s, especially mid-30s and up, social media is still fairly new to us. We was around a long time before social media came about. So one thing that social media does though is it presents certain types of temptation that most of us haven't been familiar with, that we're not familiar with prior to. You know, like for instance, the attention factor. You know, for somebody that might be in their 40s and they never had like the type of attention that they wanted. And again, like I said, that sense of self-importance, that real confidence, um, you know, people admiring them and looking up to them and coming to them for advice and you know, just confiding in them and thanking them for, you know, being a blessing to them in some type of way and helping them be a better person. Uh, Certain people in their 40s never had that. They don't know what it feels like to have other people thank them for, you know, improving their quality of life in some type of way, and basically having that attention, being that person that they've always wanted to be seen as, basically. Um, but social media presents you with the opportunity to have a false sense of that. It's really false. People don't know, but it feels very real though. Um, you might be broke as a motherfucker and not have a penny to your name, a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of, a car or anything like that. But when you go to social media and uh, you got a bunch of people praising you for maybe the type of clothes that you wear, if you a guy, or you know, the way you look, or the way you talk, or if you a female, you know what I mean, the way that your body is, and you got a fat ass or some big titties or something, and you know how to dance. Like, you have motherfuckers in their 40s that was never given this type of attention, but now all of a sudden they had the opportunity to get it. So it becomes kind of like a drug, you know. And like I said, when you don't have that anchor, you allow this temptation to drift you off. You know what I mean? See, me, like I said, social media is fairly new to me because I was alive a long time without it. But I don't get caught up in it to the point that I lose myself because I have a solid anchor. My manhood keeps me right here. I can't. Nothing about social media is going to allow me to drift off and start being something that motherfuckers never expected me to be, and doing things that motherfuckers never expected me to do. My anchor keeps me solid. My anchor keeps me well grounded. My manhood, my integrity, everything that I stand for. So here you have it. You got a lot of these beta male pimps. Like I say, you know, motherfuckers that they don't have that anchor. You know, they don't have that sense of self-value. They don't have that self-discipline. You know, because the pimping is supposed to be an exception. Well, not supposed to be. The pimping is an exceptional individual. You know what I mean? Not a perfect motherfucker, but an excellent motherfucker. You know, and people can argue with that all they want, whatever the case. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't really care what people think. I know because I live it. I experience it, and I've been living it and experiencing it. And I know the pimping is too. The pimping is an exceptional motherfucker, you know. But you got the problem. For those of y'all that doubt what I'm saying, I understand why you doubt what I'm saying, because you got a lot of motherfuckers that try to portray themselves as this excellent motherfucker that's called the ism, but they don't have that anchor, so they beta males. So, like Platinum Elite says, beta male pimps just wasting a good bitch's time. Yeah. But it's fucked up for a young lady in the game, especially if you don't have the right type of discernment to be able to separate game from lame and tell the difference. You know, because a lot of motherfuckers is they Denzel Washington with they acting. They Tom Hanks like a motherfucker. Like, these dudes deserve Oscars for real. You know what I mean? If I'm as seasoned as I am, and I'm as wise as I am in the game, and seeing what I thought to be just about everything take place in the game that could possibly take place, and a motherfucker like me is fooled, I know the bitch is fooled. If a pimp like me is fooled, and a pimp like Sinful is fooled, then I know these bitches is fooled like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? But like I say, um, the whole point of this video is for enlightenment. So hopefully it'll open your mind and open your eyes in areas that it wasn't open prior to, so that you could see certain things that were very well hidden. You can see certain things that you never would have seen otherwise. Um, like I say, the self-discipline part. You know, these beta male cats in the game, they don't have the self-discipline part. So just like I was talking about in the video I did a few days ago, um, they're not the master of themselves. You know, they're not the master of their assets, their tools, their money, or whatever it is that they're dealing with. They're mastered by a lot of other things. Like a lot of these cats are mastered by drugs. A lot of these cats are mastered by alcohol. A lot of these cats are mastered, by the temptation for sex and pleasure, sensation. You know, a lot of these cats are sensationalists, and you got to watch out for that type of shit. You know what I mean? If you see cats chasing sensation to the point where they forsaking their priorities, this is somebody that you don't want to deal with. And like I said before, a lot of these cats are mastered by designer clothes and all that type of shit. You know what I mean? They chasing pleasure, the pleasure of, you know, wearing this designer belt and getting a false sense of importance, you know what I mean? Or this Versace outfit and getting a false sense of importance. But, you know, if they don't have that type of shit, you're not going to see them posting on social media. You know, some of these motherfuckers, if they get robbed, or, you know, not even get robbed, if they take a fall in some type of way and they lose all their tools and they material items and shit like that, you're not going to see the motherfuckers posting on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and all that shit. You know, they going to get ghost for a minute until they, you know, get all that type of shit back, or at least make it where they can pretend to have all that type of shit back, you know? So like I say, it's that lack of self-discipline, you know what I mean? That sensationalism, you know, this is why they have all that type of shit. And two, that false sense of self-importance. See me, butt naked, whatever the case, like, if I had to break it down to swap meet gear, you know, I still know that I'm an important motherfucker. And somebody can have $1 million outfit on, and I can have a $5 outfit on. I still know I'm more important than this motherfucker, because they can't think like me. They can't pop this game like I pop it. You know what I mean? They can't be an asset to people and a blessing to people the way that I am. You know what I mean? So I don't give a fuck what this motherfucker got on. He's not more important than me. I'm the pimping, and I'm possessed by the spirit of this shit. So there's nothing that he can buy that's gonna make him more important than me. There's no amount of money that he can have that's gonna make him more important than me. I'm the game. You know what I mean? That other shit come and go. We go through ups and downs in this game and just in life, period. You know what I mean? That other shit come and go. The money come and go. The materials come and go. But this game is internal. This is who I am. This is what I am. It don't change. So this is the difference between the game and the lame, the real and the fake. You know what I mean? It's how you separate that shit. But like I say, a lot of the shit is very well hidden, because motherfuckers talk and walk a good one, you know what I mean? But like I said, hopefully this video enlighten you, open your mind, open your eyes, so you can recognize these snakes in the grass. You know what I mean? These false motherfuckers disclaiming this shit. You know what I mean? It's not really about this shit though. You know what I mean? Don't be mystified by the presentation. You know what I mean? It's always more than meets the eye. You know? And at the same time, don't use the material things and all that as like, don't look at it like just because a motherfucker got all these material things that they a fake and phony motherfucker, because that's not the case. You know, we like to be fly. We like having nice things, you know what I mean? We like having expensive things. You know, this kind of like the nature of the beast, you know? The pimping just like having nice things. But what I'm saying is, a motherfucker having that false sense of importance by the things that they have. You know what I mean? Like myself, if you really knew me, anybody that really knows me beyond social media, cause see me, I'm not one of those types of people that just put my whole entire life on social media. It's a lot of shit about me that you'll never know unless you really know who I am. If you really know me personally, you know, it's certain things that you'll know that will never, you know, be presented on the internet. So, and you'll also know that I've been up and I've been down and all in between. And I'm consistently the same individual throughout any situation. There's no circumstance that could change who I am as a man. But with a lot of these cats, as you can see, there's certain circumstances, certain pressure, you know what I mean, certain temptation that can change who you thought they was into who they really are. Expose different dimensions of them that you never thought was there. But now you see it. Now it's there. So, like I say, these beta male pimps, you know, they a big part of the reason why the game is fucked up. You know, because they can't face certain types of temptation and certain types of pressure. So guess what? The bitches that fuck with them, they can't face that shit and handle that shit neither. Because they have no source to draw from. They have nobody to learn from. So, you know, if this is a weak motherfucker in the face of temptation, if this dude, this beta male cat, if he's a weak motherfucker in the face of pressure and temptation and things like that, the bitch gonna be the same way. She's gonna be a reflection of that. You know? So, and it's sad because that's a whole nother video, but you got a lot of females in this game. Well, not a lot, because it ain't a lot of females that's solid in this game. But you got a few females in this game that's more solid than a lot of these dudes. A lot of these beta male niggas, man. You got certain females that's more solid than these niggas, man. And it's sad. But it's just the truth. You know what I mean? And when I see certain individuals just compromise themselves and align themselves with sucker shit, you know, partake in sucker shit, it's really disgusting, man. And like I say, even when bullshit happens, even when bad shit happens, I'm the type of individual that always likes to draw some good from it. I like to learn a lesson out of everything. And I appreciate the suckers for exposing themselves. I appreciate the suckers for showing me sides of themselves that I never knew was there, because now my mind is open in that area. My eyes are open in that area. Ray Gunn, appreciate you. Thank you. So now I'm able to see certain shit that otherwise might have appeared to be innocent to me or not that harmful. Because like I say, you know, as P's in the game, man, you know, we understand that we all we got. We understand that everybody else in the world is damn near is against us, you know what I mean? For the most part. We understand that we the most hated motherfuckers around. So because of that, you know, those of us that are true to the game, we have a certain type of camaraderie among each other. So, but one thing about it though, that we allow that loyalty to be blind to a point where we overlook certain shit for the sake of liking people. Droney0201, thank you. Like for instance, like I say, these certain individuals that I see doing this sucker shit, now that my mind is open, I understand that there's certain signs that I seen a long time ago that should have opened my eye, that should have raised a red flag to let me know not to deal with that motherfucker on the level that I was dealing with him. Like for instance, right? Just to give you an idea, proper pimp etiquette, right? Give you an example of proper pimp etiquette. You know, those of us that's really the pimping and true to this game, We want to see the next pimp doing his thing. We love to see the next pimp shining. We love to see the next pimp having it his way. A true, pure pimp, not a motherfucker that's pretending to be one, not a motherfucker that's acting like one and doing a Denzel Washington Oscar Award performance and acting like one. I'm talking about a real, true, pure pimp to the core. They really got that anchor that I'm talking about. A P like that, we love to see the next P shining. We love to see the next P doing his thing. You know, and when we congratulate him, it's genuine. We not congratulating them on some like, you know, we clapping, but we really eating our heart out. It ain't, you know, for the real ism, it ain't never like that. We love to see the next one shining. And but certain cats, like I say, they be jealous of the shit. So but like I say, proper P etiquette, right? If I'm riding with a partner like Sinful, that's my bro, right? If I'm riding with Sinful, right, and this Sinful was the one driving, and I'm riding passenger with him, you know what I mean? And we might be on the blade, or we might be, you know, on the strip somewhere, or whatever the case may be, and he get action at a bitch, and I might be fucked up. I might not have nowhere to go. I might be staying with him. I might not have nowhere to go. I might not have no money to get a room or move around. You know, I can't catch no Uber or no Lyft or nothing like that. You know, I'm trying to come up too. You know what I mean? But while I'm riding shotgun with Sinful, he get action at this bitch. And he let me know, you know, like, yeah, P, this bitch texted me, man. I'm finna go meet up with this bitch, you know, and see what I can make happen. You know, he might not mind me going along with him. But like I say, proper P etiquette, me having consideration for the situation, and I really want to see this situation go right for him, and I got his best interests at heart, and I got nothing but well wishes for him. I'm gonna be like, all right, P, you could go ahead and drop me off at the mall, man. I'm gonna go campaign, or you could drop me, you could just leave me right here on the blade, P. I'll be good. You sure, P? You know what I mean? You could ride with me if nah, P. You know what I mean? Do your thing. You know what I mean? I want to see you. You know, I'm gonna get out your way. You know what I mean? That's proper P etiquette. You know, but this is just a few days ago. This is probably about a week ago. I'm riding with my partner, and you know, he kind of fresh out the joint. You know what I mean? He ain't really been out the joint that long. He just did some time, just got out, and he trying to get on his feet. You know what I mean? So I'm picking him up, taking him campaigning with me, so on and so forth. Now, this ain't like one of my closest, tightest partners, but this is somebody I've been knowing for a few years and that I'm cool with, you know, but we haven't really dealt very closely with each other. You know, so now he out, you know, and me, like I said, proper P etiquette. I always do my best to help my fellow gentlemen in the game. So we ride. You know what I mean? Like I said, he fucked up. He ain't all the way fucked up, but he ain't mobile. You know what I mean? So he riding with me. He's with me when I meet this bitch. We together. I meet this bitch. You know what I mean? I get her out of pocket. We chopping it up and everything like that. I slide her my number. You know what I mean? And I say, hit me later on. So this like earlier in the night. So top of the morning, at the crack of sunrise, the bitch hit my line. You know what I mean? She like, I'm over here on such and such and such and such street. You know, can I meet up with you? Can we talk? I say, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? I'll be on my way over there in just a minute. So, I tell my partner, that's what I did say, right? He got like a little half piece of bitch. You know what I mean? In the game, a piece of a bitch is that's what we call a bitch that ain't really solid. You know what I mean? This, you know, it's a shaky situation. It could fall apart literally at any moment. You know what I mean? So he dealing with a bitch like that. So his money is funny, and he ain't heard from the bitch all night. You know what I mean? So he don't know if she in jail. He don't know if the bitch done blew up and fagged off. You know what I mean? He don't know, you know, the bitch ain't answering her phone, so he don't know what's going on with this bitch. You know what I mean? So, I tell him, I say, yeah, P, I'm finna go meet up with this bitch, man. You know, did you want me to drop you somewhere close by? Because, see, that was another thing. The area I had to go meet the bitch was way on this side of town, and he lives where I picked him up from. His house is way on this side of town. They, you know, 10 miles opposite directions from each other. You know what I mean? Something like that. So I'm like, P, you want me to drop you somewhere close by, or you want me to Uber you or lift you back to the joint? You know what I mean? He like, oh man, I really don't like asking a P for nothing, man. If I got a bitch, man, woo, woo. I'm like, well, shit, P. At this moment, you really don't know if you got a bitch or not. You know what I mean? Because you ain't heard from the bitch all night. You're like, yeah, man, but I really don't like asking the P. For nothing when I got a bitch. I'm like, well, P, you really don't know if you got one or not. So, but that's really the whole. I don't like asking the P for nothing when I got a bitch. That's really. Hold on a second. Okay, so the whole, like I said, the whole I ain't got a bitch, or I don't like asking a P for nothing when I got a bitch thing, it's really just a smoke screen. He really just didn't want to leave my side, you know what I mean? And he didn't mind cramping my style. So he was like, P, you know what I mean? Why don't you just let me ride with you? You know what I mean? Why don't you just let me pull up over there, with you? And I'm like, well, P, it's a fresh bitch, and it's a white bitch, you know what I mean? It's a little, and she kind of green. She got a lot of square vibes about herself, I'm like, I don't want to pull up on a bitch with 2 pimps in the car, you know what I mean? But, if you want me to lift you back to the joint, or Uber you back to the joint, I got you. He like, well, nah, man, P, why don't you just come on, man, just let me ride with you. He like really adamant about this shit. So I say, look, P, I'll do this. I say, because we was on the blade. I say, P, I'll drop you right here on the blade somewhere. I'll go get the bitch, and then I'll come back and get you. He like, nah, man, I don't really want to do that, P. Why don't you just let me ride with you, man? Come on, P. You know what I mean? Like, I'll even get in the back seat. Which, for those of y'all who know proper P etiquette, I'm gonna have to do a video on proper P etiquette. You know what I mean? But the pimpin' ain't gonna never make his partner or allow his partner to get in the back seat for this bitch. Never. I'm never gonna do that. Even if he's cool with it. I'm never gonna allow my partner to get in the, and this motherfucker, he kind of tall. You know what I mean? I'm not finna allow my partner to get in the back seat for the bitch. No matter how, cool he is with it, I'm just not doing that. So he suggests that. He like, yeah, P, come on, P, just let me ride with you, man. I know you trying to pimp, man. I know you trying to do your thing, man. I'll even get in the back seat, man, and you could let her ride in the front seat, man, if that's what you want to do, man. I said, nah, man, like, P, I'm not gonna allow you to get in the back seat. That's not finna happen. That's not in my ride. It's not happening, P. You're not getting in the back seat. So I say, come on, man, But long story short, I had to press this man, and he ended up agreeing, to me getting him a lift back to his joint. But, when you dealing with P's, man, you shouldn't have to do that. Like I said, if the tables was turned, I don't care if I might not even have nowhere to go. I might not have nothing going on. P, I'm gonna get out your way. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna get out the way. P, go do your thing. I'll catch up with you later on. You know what I mean? So, fast forward a few days later, this same individual, right? It's a funny little situation, right? Same individual, right? We riding, and we see this young lady in the game, right? She down, she doing her thing. I noticed her first, and I'm driving. So when I notice her, I bust a U-turn and I pull up and park to where as she walks up, she gonna run. She can't help but to run into me, right? So I do that, bust a U, pull up, park. She's walking towards, but she don't like. She kind of got an idea it's me, cause it's dark. She kind of thinks it's me, but she not sure. So she started to keep walking past the car. So I said, damn, you gonna just walk past and not say nothing? And then that's when she knew for sure that it was me. So she like, hey, what's up? She walk up to the window. Now, come to find out, we both have prior experiences with this bitch. You know what I mean? He done had a prior experience with her, and I've had a prior experience with her. You know what I mean? So we both got history with the bitch. So, and as she was walking up, he like, damn, that looked like the little bitch that I broke on before. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure if that's her. So when I said what I said to her, she walked up to the window. Now he like, she like, hey, what's up, Freeze? Woo, woo. I'm like, what's going on? How you doing? And he gonna lean over like, you don't remember me? You know what I mean? You don't remember me, bitch? Like, what's up? What? And then she look and she see him. She like, oh hey, how you doing? You. So me and the bitch, we we exchanging a few words, but he just like real adamant. You know what I mean? Talking over me, and he talking to the point, where I just fall back. I stop talking, and then he tell the bitch like, yeah, come over here to my window, come around to my side. You know what I mean? So the bitch, she goes around to his side and start talking to him. You know, so they talking or whatever, and then the area where I was parked at, I was kind of blocking traffic. So I tell her, I say, come over here. You know what I mean? I'm finna pull over and park right here. Walk over here and we could chop it up over there. So she like, cool. So she comes over there, and like I said, he's the one really pressing at the bitch. But this lets you know that the bitch was more interested in me. And I'm gonna show you what I did. So we pull over, we jump out the car, we all standing there talking, the three of us, you know what I mean? And the bitch was like, the bitch tells me this. She's like, I felt you out here. I felt that you was out here. I knew I was gonna run into you tonight. I just had a feeling that I was gonna run into you. Bitch tells me this. She didn't say nothing like to him like that, like, I'm glad to see you, or I felt I was gonna run into you out here. She didn't tell him none of that. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, is that right? You know what I mean? Woo, woo. But like I said again, he's really pressing, he's really adamant, he's really at the bitch. So me, like I said, I'm really, really in tune with the spirit of pimping at all times. So um this wasn't even no hell of a bitch. Like, I had her before, but she didn't give me no whole bunch of money. I didn't have her for a long time. You know what I mean? But you never know what might happen. So I'm always got my game open. You know what I mean? To allow a bitch to have another opportunity to fuck with me, as long as she ain't betrayed me, which she hasn't. You know what I mean? But one thing I'm not finna do is, because a hoe's supposed to see the pimping as giants. You know what I mean? So in her eyes, we supposed to be two giants. You know what I mean? And there's no disrespect to her, but her hoeing ain't really big like that. You know what I mean? The big part of the reason is because she never was really dedicated to the ism or the game like that. But basically, it's like, I'm really a giant. This motherfucker over here, he just supposed to be a giant, and he trying to act like a giant, but he not really a giant though. And but whatever the case, this bitch is supposed to see both of us as giants, and I'm not gonna allow this bitch to get in her mind that these two giants is in competition to have her motherfucking ass. Like, we competing with each other to have her motherfucking ass. No. So, like I said, the spirit of pimping moves me to just fall back. I just told myself, you know what? He wants this bitch a lot more than I do. It's not that serious. So I didn't even say anything. I just went and sat back in the car and waited for them to, get done talking, which was about 15 minutes. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like me, if I see a bitch is, out here at the money, I might chop it with her for a second, but I'm not finna distract her to the point where, I'm gonna allow her to get it up. You know what I mean? I'm not finna be, on the blade chopping it up with this bitch for 15 minutes. But that's what he did. You know what I mean? So, bottom line, my whole point in telling you these different instances is to let you know that, now mind you, other than these, things like this motherfucker is very cool. A lot of people in the game respect this individual that I'm talking about. Cool as a motherfucker. But he just showed me, different dimensions of himself. You know what I mean? Like I said, different situations presented themselves, and he's showing me this side of himself. So now when a motherfucker called me, I don't even answer his phone call no more. And he probably don't even understand why. You know what I mean? And if I ever see him and he was to ask me why, I'm going to let him know. But me, I'm just the type of motherfucker, when you show me certain aspects of yourself, I'm just going to fall back. I'm not going to try to argue with you about why you did what you did or said what you said and all. I'm not finna do none of that. I'm finna fall back. You know what I mean? You're not gonna hear from me no more. We not finna go campaign no more. It's just not finna be none of that. You know what I mean? That's just how I get out. You know? But like I said, cool as a motherfucker. But I had never, like I said, I've been knowing him for a few years, but I had never been in them situations. We never really campaigned with each other like that. But as soon as we do, look what happens. You know what I mean? So basically my point, like I said, in telling you about these situations is that spirit of desperation. That's another thing that the pimping does not have any familiarity with. Like, I don't know nothing about desperation. I've never been desperate. I could be fucked up, starving. I'm never gonna do no desperate shit in order to eat. You know what I mean? I just don't know nothing about being desperate. And if this motherfucker get desperate for little shit, you know what I mean? These is little bitty situations like P, you know what I mean? I'm gonna drop you off, man, or I'm gonna shoot you a lift, man. I'm finna go pull up on this bitch. And the motherfucker like, come on, P, let me ride with you, man. That's desperate. Like, damn, man, can't you see that I'm working and I'm trying to, I'm trying to come up? I got fresh work, man. Let me work. Cause if you come up on something, I'm gonna get out your way. I'm the type of motherfucker like, this individual I'm talking about, he ain't got no L's. But if he did have L's, you know what I mean? I'm the type of person that if he was the one to get up on some work, I'm gonna let him have a car and everything. Like, P, you know what? I'll catch a lift back to the joint, or I'm gonna stay right here on the blade and continue working, or I'm gonna go, do something else. But here, P, here go the car, you know what I mean? Go do your thing, man. That's how I am. I've done shit like that plenty of times, you know what I mean? Because when I say I want to see the next piece shine, I really mean that shit, and it's evident in my track record and in my actions still to this day. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, that's that beta male ass shit. You know what I mean? It's that beta male ass shit that allows him to not have no consideration for my pimping and, really trying to impose and step on my toes about this shit. Not have no type of consideration for what I'm wanting to do and what I got going on. It's that beta male shit. It's that lack of an anchor. He ain't got that anchor. So it allows him to drift off and do some sucker shit. You know what I mean? I got that anchor. So I just can't, I don't know how to do that type of shit. So like I said, this is that beta male shit. You know what I mean? And whatever, I feel bad because like I said, this is somebody that a lot of people in the game respect. And he's not a dummy. He might have a lot of game about himself, you know what I mean? But see, the thing about it is, like I say, all the time, a motherfucker have all the game in the world. But if they're not the type of person, you know what I mean, to utilize that game to the best of their ability, the game is useless. You can have a whole bunch of game, but if you're a sucker, then that game don't mean shit. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be able to do the right things with that game if you're a sucker. So that shit don't mean nothing. So it's a lot of people with game. It's a lot of people that pop it, and when they pop it, they sound cool, and you might be impressed by the way that they talk and what they saying and how much game they got, and they sound so wise and intelligent and all this, that, and the third. But if they a sucker, you know what I mean? If they a beta male and they don't have that anchor and they allowed to drift off and do sucker shit, then that shit don't matter. It don't matter how good they talk. It don't matter how they sound or how profound they pop it or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, you got to be able to watch for certain shit that's very well hidden to the untrained eye and the untrained mind. Look for that anchor in a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Look for that anchor. See how well grounded that motherfucker is. See how, like I said, I'm not one to toot my own horn, you know what I mean? But you could just see that I'm a highly self-disciplined individual. I realize my value. I don't think too highly of myself, and I definitely don't at all think lowly of myself. And in the face of pressure, I'm not gonna buckle. I'm not gonna fold. There's no type of pressure, and I'm consistent in who I am at all times. So, and this is all because of my anchor. Like I said, you know what I mean? And it's nothing special about me. I was just blessed. It ain't nothing special about me. I'm not special in no type of way. It's the things that were beyond my control throughout my life that blessed me to be the way that I am. That's all shit that's beyond my control, though. I didn't have no control over that. I didn't have any control over who my father was. I didn't have any control over who my uncles was or who my cousins were or the neighborhoods that I grew up in or the situations that I went through and how I was tested and how I knew how to handle those tests. And like, I didn't have any control over that shit. I didn't have any control over my influences. I just was blessed. You know, so I don't want y'all to get it misunderstood. I don't want you to misunderstand me for somebody that thinks they any more special than the next man, because I'm not. It's nothing special about me at all. I have just been very blessed. I've been blessed in ways that certain people haven't been blessed in, just like people been blessed in ways that I haven't been blessed in. You know what I mean? But I'm very in tune with my blessings. And that's the thing about it. You know, we all blessed in different ways. And it's not so much that this person is more blessed than that person or so on and so forth. That is true to an extent. But beyond that, it's about understanding your blessings and being in tune with those blessings and using those blessings to the best of your ability. That's what it's about. You know, like I said, I'm not special, but I'm just real in tune with my blessings. And I do my best to utilize them to the best of my ability. And like I've said before, the greatest thing you could do in life is to be of service. Is to be a blessing to others. You know what I mean? I'm real big on that. Like, that's the greatest feeling. Like, this is why I chop it up with y'all. Because, you know, y'all don't understand how it make me feel when you thank me for all the different things. Like thank me for enlightening you in some type of way, or thank me for inspiring you in some type of way. Like, you know, I don't get big-headed about that type of shit, but I'm so greatly humbled, and I really appreciate that type of shit. You know what I mean? That's the greatest feeling. You know, for me, for you to let me know that I helped you become a better person in some type of way, that's better than getting a check for $1 million. That's better than, you know, having a big mansion or anything like that. Like, you know, of course, I would love to have those things, but it's motherfuckers that have those things that ain't nobody ever told them that. Ain't nobody ever told them, like, man, I appreciate you, man. You just been a blessing to me in so many ways, man. You really helped me be a better person. You really helped me get my life in order. You really helped me get my health in order. You really helped me get my mind right. You really helped me get my heart in order. Like, it's motherfuckers with all kind of material things that they don't know what that feels like. You know what I mean? That shit is priceless. And it's nothing greater than that. So when y'all tell me that, like I say, I don't always take time out to let you know, but I'm letting you know right now, like, I appreciate the hell out of that shit. You know, thank you for that. I thank y'all for that. I appreciate you for that. You know, and it just inspires me, and that's what a lot of y'all don't understand. Just like you might think that I inspire you, or you believe that I inspire you, you inspire me to stay on my toes and step my game up. You know what I mean? It's been times where I fell off with my workout, and like I've said before, you know, I might slack off for some weeks and shit like that. But so I might need some inspiration. And somebody will come to me and say, man, Freeze, you know what I mean? You really inspired me to get on my health and fitness type shit, man. You know, I've been doing my thing for 2 months, man. I've been really serious about it, man. And I've been seeing results, man. I done lost 15 pounds, or I done lost 20 pounds, man. Or, you know, I done put on, I gained 10 pounds, man. You know, I'm putting on some muscle, you know. I've been eating right, man. You know, I stopped eating fried foods, man. I heard you talk about how you stopped eating fried foods, so it made me stop eating fried foods, man. Like, when people tell me shit like that, I look at myself like, man, like, what is you doing? You can't slack off. You can't afford to not go to the gym. You got a responsibility. God blessed you to be an inspiration to people. You got to keep that up. You got to stay in there, Pimp. Come on, man. What is you doing, Freeze? What is you doing, Freeze? Get your ass up and go to the gym, man. You know? So like I said, you know, it'd be times where I need inspiration, and y'all don't understand that you being an inspiration to me, just like I'm being an inspiration to you. So Sir Mac, and I ain't been to the gym yet today, but as soon as I'm done with this, that's on my agenda. I'm going straight to the gym immediately after I'm done talking to y'all. But yeah, man. Um, it's that that's another part of my anchor. Being of service. Like I said, that's the greatest thing that you could do. Greater than hitting a multi-million-dollar lick or you know um, getting some type of material thing that you always wanted or anything like that. The greatest thing that you could do in life is be a blessing to others and help people to better themselves or better their life in some type of way, one way or another. So let me read some of y'all's comments. I know I've been going. I haven't really been taking time to read a lot of y'all's comments. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and hitting that thumbs up. If you haven't hit the thumbs up at this point, please do so, and I appreciate you for doing that. Let me read some of these comments. Silks BB BS Cratchin, I believe that's how you say your name. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you taking up Sinful's recommendation to come to my channel, as well as being motivated to get back in the gym, man. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Let's see, Chico Rico says, can you reiterate on the principle of structure for females who don't know the importance of paying a P, even though the hoe is the one doing the work? I look at it in parallel to the business world. Yeah, well, it is parallel to the business world in a lot of ways. The only difference is, unlike the business world, how they say in the business world is business never personal. In this lifestyle, is business as well as personal. You know, of course, you got to maintain a balance between those two. But as far as principles and structure, man, that's really about, like I say, that anchor. You know, you have to be in tune with your manhood. And like I say, a lot of us in this game are so caught up in trying to be this big old pimp and all these types of things. We forsake manhood, a lot of us. You know what I mean? A lot of us lose sight of what it means to be a man in everything that you do. You know what I mean? Whether you in waste management or the legal field or the medical field or entertainment or anything like that, you're gonna be the best at what you do if you in tune with your manhood. So as far as this ism goes, when you in tune with your manhood, like I say, a big part of that is being of service to people. Because when you in tune with your manhood, you're not insecure in any type of way. So you don't have to snake anybody or take advantage of anybody for the sake of yourself being good. Like me, I'm really in tune with my manhood. And because of that, I've never thought about, doing a female wrong in the game or snaking a bitch in any type of way. You know what I mean? I always do my best to be ethical by the game when I deal with a female in the game. So, I've always got their best interests at heart. So because of that, which is the root of that is my anchor, me being in tune with my manhood. When it comes to this pimping, I have no problem expressing to this female the importance of fucking with myself or any other gentleman in the game, because I truly understand my value. I understand how I can be a blessing to her. I understand how I can bring the best out of her and be her greatest asset in this game. And like I said, the reason why I understand that is because I have that anchor. I'm in tune with myself. So it's different for me having information. Me and this sucker might have the same information, but this sucker is not gonna be able to express this game to this bitch in the same way that I'm able to, because he doesn't have that anchor. So a big part of it, like I say, is having that anchor, man. You know, having that self-discipline about yourself, understanding your value, and having a sincere understanding, like you truly believe your value. You know why you're valuable, and you sincerely believe it. It's not a facade. It's not false. It's not a false sense of confidence. You know what I mean? And you know, being able to withstand that pressure. You know, you got to have them types of things in order. And when you have them types of things in order, the game just flows beautifully. You know what I mean? When you expressing it to this female. So, extended clips, I appreciate you. Thank you. Ray Gunn says, you definitely helped me focus back in on my goals. I appreciate you for that, man. I'm glad that I was able to do that for you. Big Drew, man. You know, I really appreciate you. You know, whenever you give me an update on what you got going on with your health and fitness goals and things like that, man. See, like I say, it's stuff like that. When you let me know that, man, it lets me know that I got to stay on point. I ain't got no choice. Sir Mackin says in response to who was that? Chico Rico. In response to that, Sir Mackin said, and the hoe is not the one doing the work. If that's the case, she would bypass the pimping and already know what to do. She wouldn't come looking for life skills. It's not so much that she's not the one doing the work. She is the one doing the work, but she's not the only one doing the work. And her work alone is not going to get her, you know, where she wants to be in the most effective fashion. It's not going to get her where she wants to be at all, really. You know what I mean? And if it does get her where she wants to be, then her vision ain't really that big. Her vision ain't nearly where it should be, you know. But like you say, she wouldn't come looking for life skills. Yeah, if she understands the value of the ism, yeah, she gonna come looking for some games, for the life skills, for the guidance, all of that. You know what I mean? Just the experience of having the ism in her life. Yeah, she gonna come looking for that if she values this shit, you know. But if she doesn't value this shit, like a lot of females in the game don't, you know what I mean? And a big part of the reason why they don't value this shit is because all these beta male pimps, you know, a real one can do his best to express the importance of the ism to her, you know. But a lot of these young ladies, they just got a real closed mind to this shit, man. And they don't understand how they their own worst enemy with that shit, you know. But the best thing you could do as a real one is just, you know, be an example. You know, keep this shit on display and keep it on thick. So. Chico Rico say just because she's salting the fries and feeding the public doesn't mean she has the business aspect down. Real talk. She still needs some leadership in her life. Percy Flyer says, if a whole family has an idea she's in the game with you presiding over her, how would you go about dealing with that situation? Well, it depends on the details of the situation. But again, the most important thing is to remain a man in the situation, to have that anchor. You know, I haven't really experienced like any extreme hater shit from anybody's family who I've dealt with. I've had some, that didn't really agree with what we had going on. But sometimes it could be a situation where they might disagree, but once they get the opportunity to meet you and chop it up with you, they do agree. But then some people just don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? And of course, as the ism, you don't want to take a chance because they might want to see you go down and go down real bad. But ultimately, it's about you and that young lady being in tune with each other. But if it's a type of situation, because she should be able to express to her family via your guidance, what y'all got going on, and express it to them in a way that they'll be at ease with it. But like I said, some people just ain't gonna want to hear it. But like I say, the most important thing is that you remain a man in the situation, and handle it like a man. It's various different ways that situation can go. But like I said, it all depends on the details of the situation. So just be a man about it, ultimately. Platinum Elite says every hoe is not for every pimp. Some hoes aren't worth a pimp's time. That is very true. I could talk about that in another video. Why a hoe is or isn't worth a pimp's time. That chief trend, I think you got two parts to your question. Let me read both of them. I lose too many hoes in the beginning because they got too many simps sweating them to act any kind of way. Then the second part is, so how do I keep my integrity as a man when beta pimps are allowing them to act up? See, the one thing about this game, right? You have to always allow a young lady the freedom to choose. Now, of course, as the ism, a part of your job is to impress this game upon her in such a way that she makes the best choice, which should be you. Now, you really don't have no control over what them other guys is doing. You don't have no control over what the bitch is doing, but you do have control over what you yourself is doing. And you say, how do you maintain integrity? It's no how-to it. If you have true, pure integrity, then the maintaining of it is just, it ain't nothing to it. It's natural. It stays there. When you have true integrity about yourself, the key is just not compromising it, and there's no bitch, there's no other quote unquote pimp that's important enough to make you compromise your integrity. So, like I said, that anchor, when you got that anchor in order, you ain't gonna have no problem maintaining integrity in the face of any type of pressure or dealing with this bitch or dealing with these other, quote unquote P's, these betas, you know what I mean? If you have true integrity, you ain't gonna have no problem with that. So you might need to take time to get a better understanding of yourself and get your manhood in order to a point where that anchor is solid and you just know that there's no type of situation that can make you compromise that integrity. Because if you're not maintaining your integrity, then that means you're compromising your integrity, and you don't want to compromise yourself for that female or for them dudes. Like, it's no in between. Either you maintaining integrity or you compromising it. So you definitely don't want to compromise yourself. There's no situation that should make you do that. Read some more of these comments. That boy going 80s style with the boom box over his head, just bumping. LMA 463 says, any books you recommend, big homie? I've spoken on this before. One of my favorite books is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Stephen R. Covey. MR is the son. But The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. The autobiography of Malcolm X is a good read. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a good read. I got a lot of other books that I could recommend too, but if you read those and you need some more to read, get at me and I'll recommend some more. Platinum Elite. Boy, you just spoke the realest talk. A bitch can give these dudes an Xbox and a pair of Jordans and keep the rest of the bag. Treat these beta male pimps like a 13-year-old boy. True story. Glad you went there. I'm so glad you went there, Platinum Elite. Because that is so true. And that's, like I said, that's that compromise. See, the pimping, we understand the rules of the game. And like I said, that's a prime example of no matter how cold this quote-unquote P's information is, he still goes contrary to it because of the way he's built. I was just having this conversation with a partner of mine just this morning about this same shit. You got cats that are quote-unquote veteran P's in the game. They've been in the game 10, 15, 20 years or what have you, and they understand the fundamentals of the game. Intellectually, they know right from wrong in the game. But because of the way they built, because they got that beta shit in them, because they don't have that anchor, they're not able to implement the information in P fashion. So that's just like, for instance, them cats that you talking about, Platinum Elite, just gonna accept the Jordans and the Xbox from the bitch and let the bitch keep the whole bag. They might be aware of this fact, and they know that that's not pimpish, but because they got that beta shit about them, they'll compromise themselves and bow down to this situation, bow down to this deal that the bitch is presenting to them. So the thing about it is, a hoe's supposed to feel important. A hoe is supposed to understand her value. You know, she's supposed to be in tune with herself and realize have her own sense of self-importance. But she's never supposed to believe or get the impression that she's bigger than the game or bigger than the peas or bigger than any individual in the game. Like a young lady in the game, she's not supposed to she, you know, if she got that type of outlook on the game, she's going wrong, you know, and she's gonna have a hard way to go. But you got a lot of cats who their behavior encourages this in them. Their behavior, you know, and that compromising and you know, accepting these deals, it encourages these females to have that false sense of importance. You know what I mean? This is why it's never good to compromise and accept a deal, because you know it keeps everybody in tune, keeps everybody grounded. You know, and when you're in tune with your manhood, you're able to express to this female, you know, her and get her in tune with her sense of self-importance and all of that. But at the same time, you're not gonna you gonna help her get her anchor in order. You know what I mean? Because just like a man's supposed to have his anchor, a female's supposed to have her anchor too. You know what I mean? And her anchor is supposed to be, you know, if she's dealing with you and you the man in the situation, it's supposed to be anchored in you. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be anchored to you, and you're her rock, you her foundation. You're keeping her solid. You're not allowing her to drift off one way or the other. You know, but you got a lot of these people, man, that like you say, they're gonna accept that Xbox, they're gonna accept those Jordans, and they're gonna be happy with that. You know, and the fucked up thing about it is these cats call themselves P's who go for this type of shit. So you got a lot of bitches that think that they sharper than the pimping, or you know that they got one up on the pimping, and you know, yeah, I done got pimps to trick on me. I done had pimps pay for my. It's impossible. It's impossible for a real pimp to trick. You know what I mean? A trick and a pimp can't exist in the same body. It's impossible. But because of those beta pimps, you know what I mean, quote unquote beta pimps, you know, they have it where a lot of these females believe that they got a certain type of power over P's. This not cool. And it's a big part of the reason why they don't understand the value of the ism, you know. But what they also don't understand is that they missing out on major blessings by underestimating the value of the ism. They missing out on some major blessings. So beta shit ain't cool, man. Prince Power say she better be shopping for 2 and 3 tone gators for some ism Jordans or for babies. More importantly than what she's shopping for, she needed, I mean, as far as material items, she need to be shopping for some ism. You know what I mean? And be ready and willing to pay in full for the ism that she's shopping for. The B codes say they just want to be mothered. Yeah, certain beta male cats, they do. All right, y'all. As always, man, it's been a real pleasure. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you for hitting the thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please do so. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for subscribing. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your shares. I appreciate your support in any which way that you come with it. Excuse me. But we're going to do this again in the near future. Best of blessings to y'all. Y'all have a peaceful and safe night, and I'll holla.